Hello, my dear students. Welcome to this video lecture for our class in inertia. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate the creation of a component, and this component is going to be used in a way we'll be passing parameters to it. That is, we are going to pass data from a parent component to this particular component through props or properties, and this component will also propagate data in the form of emitting events. So we will use this uh, particular component specifically for the delete uh, function of the office. So we will be able to have a component that is going to be a confirmation whether to actually delete a particular office or not. So to demonstrate, this is how it's going to be. Let me first log in. Right, so in the offices here, we have here a delete button for each office. So if we are going to click on this button here, it's going to display this component. So this is a component that is a confirmation dialog, and it says, are you sure you want to delete this item? And if we click cancel, nothing will happen. So let me click that again. We click confirm. It's going to try and delete that particular office, but since this office has items assigned to it, it is not going to be deleted. Instead, it's going to display a message that it cannot be deleted because it contains 17 items. Now, all of these offices have items assigned to them, so we cannot delete all of them. So for the purposes of demonstrating deleting one, we'll create another office. So this is just a sample office in a sample building. We'll be assigning this to myself and click. So now we have this sample office here. Okay, if you go back to users or items and going back to offices, it's there. It's created. Now if we are going to delete and click on confirm, it's gone. So that's the delete function using a confirm dialog, which is a component that will receive properties and will propagate event. So this is the one that we'll be creating in this demonstration. All right, so at this point, I've gone back to a branch that does not have the changes I've shown earlier. So if we go back to the browser, at this point, we click on the delete button. We don't have any reactions because it's not there. First of all, we are going to create our component. So we go to resources, views, and inside of components, we're going to create a new file, and we call this component delete confirm or confirm delete or confirm dialog. All right. Okay, set the templates for this, and of course the script tag. Now what we want to have here in the dialog is we want to cover the whole screen with a gray semi-transparent background to make the page dark, and then on top of it we're going to put a window that shows our dialog. So first of all, we're gonna have a div here. This div is going to have a class of, maybe we call this overlay, and then we'll have another div that's outside of the overlay, which is going to be our wrapper. Maybe we call this dialog wrapper, and inside of the dialog wrapper is another div which is the actual dialog. Okay, so the reason I'm doing this is because the overlay here is going to have a black or maybe a dark gray background, and then we'll set its opacity. Now if we set an opacity of a parent element, it's going to be that same opacity of the child element inside of that. That is why the dialog itself is not going to be placed inside of the overlay, so that it's not going to inherit the opacity. Instead, we'll make this overlay cover the whole screen, and then that will be on top of the page. And then on top of the overlay, we'll have this dialog wrapper covering the whole screen as well. And then put the dialog inside of it. That way, the wrapper will be on top of the overlay, and then the dialog is inside of the wrapper, will not receive or inherit the opacity of the overlay. All right. So for now, let's put that into our page. So we have here offices index, and here we're gonna put our confirm dialog. Okay, make sure that we import that one. So let's see, it's there, import under components. And if we visit back, nothing happens here, but yeah, nothing happens because we don't have contents inside of here. Now we are going to apply classes to the overlay, dialog wrapper, and the dialog. So we open up our Tailwind CSS for this, and here we're gonna add first the overlay. So the overlay is going to have a background color of maybe very dark gray. We'll also give it the opacity of perhaps 0.85. Okay. Since this is going to cover the whole screen, we'll have to give it a position of absolute, and its top is 0, left is also 0. And to cover the whole thing, we'll just apply a Tailwind CSS here, a Tailwind class of min height of full and min width of also full. So to save that, see it's covering the whole thing. Now we cannot access what's behind it. Okay, so that's the first thing. Next is the dialog wrapper. So we'll have dialog wrapper, which basically is also the same thing, but we don't give it the background anymore, but we'll make it a position absolute. Also top is 0 and left is 0, just like the overlay. And then we'll also apply this. But aside from that, we'll make it flex, and we'll put it, justify it to the center, and items will be also in the center. All right, you'll see no changes here. Now let's add our dialog. So the dialog wrapper should be the parent of this dialog class. And let's see, we'll apply some Tailwind CSS here. First, we'll have a BG green, maybe 100. Let's have a padding of 4 and rounded LG. Just for this purpose, let's give this a minimum width of, say, 500 pixels and a minimum height of maybe 300 pixels, just so that we can see it how it is. All right, there's our little dialogue. We'll get rid of this later on when we have contents. Okay, so inside of our confirm dialog, we're going to have here some parts, and first we'll maybe have a title. It will be an H3 with text 3XL maybe, and this is the title and we'll divide it with a horizontal rule with a border um, green 700 maybe. Let's see, there you go. And then below that will be a message. We'll have here a div. This will be for the message. We'll give it this class. And for this, we'll give it a margin top of 4 maybe. And here we'll put the message. This is where the message will appear. All right, there's a message. We want this to be in the center, by the way. So for this, we'll give the text center. There you go. And then we'll have some buttons. I have another div here with text sent. Oh no, we'll make it flex and then justify center, and we'll have a space x of 2. Right, then this is where we put our buttons. For our buttons, we'll have a green button, so we'll have bg green 700. Make it rounded, give it a padding of 2 maybe. We'll have a text of white, and if we hover over it, it should be able to have a BG green. Oh no, it should be BG green 700 when we hover it, and if it's not, let me change this to 800. And inside of the button is going to be the word confirm. See, all right, and when you hover over it, it's also gives some margin top. All right, the other button is the cancel button. To name this cancel, all we have to do is change the green to red. There you go. All right, so you can get rid of the minimum height here. Maybe we'll make this 600 for our width. There you go. All right, now since it's there, it's going to be it's covering the whole thing. We'll also control some of the z index here. So for the overlay, we'll give it a z index of 100. Now because of that, it's now going to be on top of everything, but we're going to change that. For the dialog wrapper, we'll give it a z index as well of, this time we'll make it 200. So it's going to be on top of the overlay. There you go, just to make sure. Okay, so now by default it's not going to appear right here, so we're gonna have to give it a vf show confirm. Right, so this show confirm is going to be defined, of course, in our setup. This is in the index of the office page. So where's that reference? We're gonna do it here. So let show confirm is equal to a ref, which gives us false. So now that it's false, it's not showing. Okay. All right. Now let's try giving it, giving the buttons, the delete button, the ability to show the dialog. So let's take a look at one button here. It's, I think, this one. So it's calling remove office. So it's there already. Going down, let's take a look at remove office. There's nothing here. So for now, let's just make the dialog appear, and that is confirm dialog. So we'll just say confirm dialog that value or no, show confirm, right? That value is equal to true. So if we click, oops, there's something wrong. Confirm dialog is already been cleared. Yeah. Show confirm. Oh, okay. So when we click on the button, the dialog appears. Now for the cancel, okay, so we'll do that later on because that's going to be the the emission of event. First thing we need to do here is to pass data into the component through the use of props. So we're going to create props properties for the confirm dialog component, and so that we'll be able to pass data onto it. Right. So here we're gonna add define props not proofs. So we'll be defining properties for the title and the message. So we'll have here title is just a string, and then message is also a string. Okay, and we'll get rid of this. Instead, we'll interpolate what is the title, and here, what is the message. Now, of course, there's nothing inside there now. Oops. Yeah, we'll have an error, of course, because of that. Reference to defined props is not defined. Oops. I did not expect that error. Define props. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, only lacking the let. All right, now there's no title and no message. So in the index, the one that uses that component right here, we simply have to pass the properties. First, the title. Let's have the title delete office with a question mark. And then the message. Are you sure about deleting this office file? Okay, so now that's there. If we click again, it now says delete office, and there's the message. Okay, so we are able to pass data from the parent component, which is the index, through the use of props and into the confirm dialog. So we get the props and pass it here into the view. Of course, you have done this before in perhaps your view class. There's nothing different here. Next is we'll allow the component to emit an event. So for this example, when we click on cancel or when we click on confirm, it should give us an event, and that event will be received by the parent component, and that the parent component will be able to perform the task that is relating to that particular event. So in this case, first we'll have the cancel button to emit an event. All we have to do is very simple. All we have to do is when we click on the cancel button, like so, we just have to call $emit, and then we pass something. We pass a string. All right, so that string for this example we'll just call cancel. So this is now the name of the event that has been emitted. Since we call this event cancel, we can listen to that event in the parent component when it is declared, where it was declared, or this confirm dialog was declared, right? Let me just put this down para more readable. So here we can add at and then the event. So if there's a if there was an event that says click, that's why we add something like at click. But the event that we are tracking here is not the click event, but the cancel event. All right, so what should the parent component do when the cancel event is triggered by the confirm dialog? So we'll just have to call a function, cancel, maybe we call cancel delete. Okay, and we don't have this function yet, so let's add that here. Function cancel delete, and all we have to do is change the show confirm to false for now. Well, I think that's all we need to do for canceling delete. Okay, so let's try delete, and we cancel. There you go. Delete, cancel. Okay. All right, so for the purposes of having a child component, and in that child component being able to pass data into that child component, as well as receive a response from the child component, we pretty much already have done that with what we have done so far. But let's now continue on with the actual functionality of being able to delete the office from here using the when we click on the confirm. All right, so first thing is, in our index we need to create another form. We did have a form for this when we want to for creating an office, as well as I think editing an office as well, right? But we don't have, we need to have another form for delete. So we'll create that let delete form. Be a use form. Since we don't need any fields for this, it's just going to be just like that, right? And also in the event here, we are going to add also another event when we click on the confirm. So going back to the confirm dialog, we go back to the on the confirm button. So same thing, we'll just add when we click it, we'll just say dollar emit, and we'll emit confirm. Okay, so right here we can add a listening here by saying at confirm. We're now going to call delete office. Okay, so we'll also add that function here, function delete office. Right, so first, when we click on the remove button from here, this triggered this method which shows the confirm dialog, and in that method there is an object of an office that is being passed, representing the office that will be deleted we need to store this so that it can be accessed by this function. Okay, so we need to store this somewhere accessible by this function. And to do that, we'll just assign a simple variable here. For that, we'll have let selected, just like we have the selected office here. Let's just put them together. So here, just copy selected office. This time we call it for delete equals to null. And this selected office for delete will be assigned by the office that is being passed when we click on the remove button right here. So I'll just say selected office for delete is equal to that office, and then show the confirm dialog, so that when the confirm has been clicked on the confirm dialog, when the confirm has been clicked, it's going to call delete office, which is this function below here. It can access that office and get the ID, because we are going to post, not post, we're going to call the delete method of the delete form. So here we'll say delete form dot delete. So it's not a post request, it's a delete request to an API, and that is the route is offices slash, and then we add the ID. And since we can get the ID through the selected office for delete dot ID, there you go. And of course, since the confirm has been clicked, the dialog should also be hidden. So here we show confirm that value equals false also. Of course, we don't have this. We don't have this route yet. So if we try it out, we click and then confirm, we'll have an error. Yes, the delete method for this route is not yet there. And I'm sure you know how to solve that. Just go first to the web PHP, add that route. So it's similar to this route. We copy this, and instead of put, you say delete. And here, instead of calling update, we're going to call destroy. And we don't have this function yet inside of our Office controller. So let's go to our Office controller and then add that method, public function destroy, which passes in a office. Okay. So here, we, as demonstrated in the beginning of this video, we cannot delete. We are not allowed to delete an office that has items assigned to it. So we need to first check if items are assigned to a particular office before we actually are going to delete, so that if an office has items on it, we are not going to delete it. Instead, we're just going to go back and have a flash message that says you cannot delete this, right? So we need to check that first. If then office items, so this one, we can have a method that says count, right? And if that count is greater than 0, then we are going to return back, and with errors, this particular error, we'll just call this general error, like general errors, and give it a message. So the message is you cannot delete the office, and then we give it the name of the office, because it has items. Okay. Now we want also to say for example, it has 10 items. We need to know how many items it has. So this count, we can just store it into a variable. So first, put inside a parenthesis here so that this can be placed or assigned into a variable, say C for the count. And so we can add it here because it has C items. All right. However, if this does not hold true, then we can just delete the office, delete, and then just return back. All right. Okay, so let's save all and try it out. Click this, confirm. All right, it's not deleted, but we are not able to show our message. So for that, we need to get the message. Remember, the message is using the with errors, and the tag is general errors. So we need to define the properties for errors in our index. Again, so inside of our define props, where is it? Here. You can just add errors and then just call it, have it null for now. All right, so if that exists, we can have a message here right above, maybe, where should it appear? Above the list of officers. So right above here, we'll have a div. We'll give it a BG color of red 700, and the text is maybe white. Give it a padding of 4 and make it rounded LG. And yeah, let's see what we have. This is a sample error. Okay, that's good. Maybe we'll give it a margin MY of 2 or 3. All right, that's good. And this will only appear if there is an error. B if oh my goodness. Okay, B if what was that? Errors that general errors. Okay, and here we are going to display that, exactly that, errors that general errors. Okay, so refresh. Now again, confirm. There you go. You cannot delete the office stock room because it has 17 items. Okay, so if we add an office, bogus somewhere, and assign it to Verla. There you go. There's the bogus somewhere. And if we delete this, then we cancel, nothing happens. Again, confirm. There you go. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you learned something, and I'm expecting you to perform this on your own projects as well, to try it out yourself and maybe explore some other things you can do with the lesson that has been given in this particular video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you again next time.